Manders and Semler.
Oh, right. Was that on shot?
This place was a damn mess when we came in here.
Was that on shot?
We had microphones unplugged, headphones unplugged,
Yeah.
random chair behind the stage. What are they doing in here?
My headphones were unplugged. That's not called for.
Moving swiftly on. Question mark. Going to be starting on the CT side. I wonder if the other casters have been upholding the mutiny against calling device Deva.
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure that they have.
Right.
At least I'm going to make that assumption.
Well, we have a two-man push on short here from the CTs. KGB coming through with device looking towards lower B. And after Fnatic had initial presence in long A, they've decided to abandon it. Going to have a look at top mid and see what's going on there. Maybe both these teams trying to figure out what each other are doing. Flusher and Crim's going to quickly go down to the superior USPs. Going to be stronger than those Glocks, and they're pushing into the B bomb side, the remaining Fnatic plays, but still no frags for the Fnatic team. JW versus 5. JW God with 12 HP. Not God, Zod. If you know that reference, send me a tweet.
And he has a profile picture featuring a constipated Voldemort for some reason. Not sure what's going on.
How do you know he's constipated?
Look at his face change. That is a man with extreme constipation.
You might be right. Or he might have just lost a 1 versus 2.
That's quite possible. Well, either way, we have the typical anti-force buy sort of situation here for Team Question Mark, as the Deagles are in play. And it's very scary when there are Deagles in play these days, especially in the hands of Fnatic. And they're looking to try to get a couple players out into long, potentially wanting to get into the A split. Short plants on situations like this are really nice, because you can actually play mostly from the mid-ranges. With the pistols, that's going to be ideal. And looks like Dennis will be the man to make the first peek potentially up the stairs. And KGB's there with that MP7, so he's not going to have the best killing power from that range, actually. So it could be quite possible for a couple of shots to be rattled off by Dennis before any damage is received. But the smoke will go in as we look and see Device managing to catch an eye on a couple of players of Fnatic, and they're not really wanting to push forwards now, so Device will just throw a flash out and Fnatic will fall back again. But it does seem like Fnatic do want to go for either the A or the pressure on A into the quick cat drop into B.
There is a lurker towards long for Fnatic, so we'll see what the Swedish side are able to do in this situation. JW boosted onto the boxes on long, but Question Mark are smarter than to play the close quarters against the Nico. The push onto short is coming in. There's a player on Goose, I think it's KGB. In fact, you can see Zipnix throwing the flashbang for his teammates to come in. Another flash, but KGB not revealing his position just yet. Zipnix going to run distraction as the MP7 of KGB comes in. Dennis down and out. Fnatic trying to be careful because there are lots of angles to hold and defend from. 2 CTs on the site, 1 heavily tagged. Olafmeister coming in from the underpass, but there's from mid, but there's no time left for these 2 Ts. JW going to go down just before the clock, I think, which is going to be good for him, as it will give him that loss bonus. I've never seen that there before.
You haven't?
Is that normal?
Yeah, it's been there for ages.
Really?
Yeah.
How long?
At least a month or 2.
Oh, so it's relatively new.
I would say actually probably 2 months. At least, maybe a bit more.
Well, there we go. 2-0-2 question mark. Fnatic going to be on the eco now. Just the Tech 9 saved from the previous round for Olafmeister, it seems, as the Kevlar. Other than that, not much going on.
Yeah, pretty standard. And this is really good for TQM, because once they can get the ops rolling on the CT side, things change quite a lot as to their normal rifle setups. Gives the Device a lot more freedom in middle. And we'll probably see him playing off of Dupree quite a lot there with the AWP later on. Dupree, as actually mentioned on the desk, can give him a lot of added security in the kinds of engagements he wants to take with the AWP. And that's going to be a fun dynamic to watch later on. But for now, it's still, quite a passive and safe play. Still got the SMGs going as they know that they're up against pistols with no Kevlar ready to speak of. And here they come onto the A site. So Zipix there, and he's one of the safest players. Here he goes, he's going to spot quite a few there. He's got KGB giving him some covering fire. He's still not dead.
They pulled the entire rotation again. What is this? It's not even G2, but we have Dupree going back because the bomb is over towards the B bomb site. JW is going for the fake. He's only got a Glock, so surely he can't do this. But the fact that they exited the site with 5 players alive. Second time we've seen that this tournament. Come on, chaps. Come on.
I mean, they didn't commit everyone at least. I mean, he still had vision onto the site. Unlike G2,
No, he abandoned the site.
G2 actually had nobody on the site at all, which is kind of nuts. With no vision either. But TQM, they don't give up a plant or anything silly like that. And now it's the AWP onto Fnatic. Oh, look at this. Dennis really fast. Look how fast he is up here. They won't expect this, but the counter flash is going to do the damage there. And Fnatic's Dennis and Flusher, he was looking to try to support Dennis in that aggression, is going to go down. That was a really nice play from Fnatic, but TQM just a bit better this time around on the grenades.
Yeah, you can see Dupree closing the information, closing the net on the remaining Fnatic players. That's going to be a super important kill, so they know that Fnatic can only be long, top, mid, or T-spawn area. So Fnatic with 2 players left, what can they do? KGB not getting that shot somehow. There is a player in the pit, JW having a quick look. The nades will give away Karrigan's position, but really, what can Fnatic do in this situation? Don't count them out there. We've seen some ridiculous round wins on Dust 2 just recently in the previous map. Holding angles. There is support by Zipex for Karrigan in the pit, who's made his way out now, which doesn't seem to have been detected by the Ts. 2 versus 4, 45 seconds left. That's a reasonable amount of time for Fnatic to do something. They're not being engaged though. Off angles being held. Olaf Meister will take down Karrigan regardless. There is a player towards Car now, so the support play changes. Device in position with a flashbang perhaps, and Zipex is going to come out, only getting the 1 frag. JW will take down Zipex, and now he's in a 1 versus 1 situation. 20 seconds left, and he is trying to dispose of the AWP, but while he's doing that, Dupree coming in for the flank, and he will finish things off and take that AWP.
So generally speaking, you know, TQM finding a lot of comfort, and you know, from what people on the desk were saying, okay, you know, fatigue is setting in for them, sure, but that said, you know, they do have a lot of stamina, and they have been looking better, I guess. I mean, we haven't seen that firsthand, but from everything I've heard, they've been looking better and looking at the results than Fnatic. And Fnatic going for a fast B play this time. Never mind. Maybe just go out mid quickly, maybe set up the B split potentially. They do have a lot of nades, pistols to play with. Device goes in quite close. And there's a tag onto Crims there, so all these players are getting quite low, and we'll see some grenades raining into middle. The pressure from TQM is quite strong there, and Fnatic have to just wait it out now because of these nades that have been thrown down by TQM.
TQM have even been as brazen as to abandon the B bomb site for extended periods of time. Again, making a read on what to expect from players and so on and so forth. So Fnatic still just moving around the mid area. TQM still confident that nothing's happening towards the bomb site. Dupree with a cursory flashbang, just checking, making sure nothing is going on over there, and he would be correct in that sense. So what is the play from Fnatic? It seems to be over towards short perhaps, but that shot from Karrigan may change that, although the trades are coming in now. Again, remaining 2 players, both heavily tagged, just on a Tech 9 and a Mac 10. So Zipex can do this, but it could be an overextension for him to go all the way around the corner. Although it seems that the water might come to the horse. Nope, they've changed their mind. And they are moving away. 30 seconds left, and as the clock continues to tick, Zipex will have the information for his team. So Dupree may have some expectations now. KGB coming in from the back. Bomb goes down, and JW 7 HP can't do any more damage to the economy of TQM, who survive with 3 players intact.
Yeah, right now it does look like TQM are pretty much hitting their stride. Of course, everything's looking, you know, fine and dandy so far. They're hitting their shots, all this kind of, you know, business. But, you know, that said, you know, when Fnatic have had their buys, they've not really been connecting. None of their plays have really been coming together in the way that they'd imagined them. So it's more or less a matter of time until Fnatic start having some strong rounds themselves. I wouldn't count them out in any way just yet. But this is starting to get a little bit worrying as far as TQM's economy goes, and Dupree trying to get himself up into that position, which is really good at countering B splits, and he's going to get a boost actually from Zipex finally. Zipex usually the player that plays on the A site that sometimes tends to drop down into the CT spawn position if Dupree is playing the bomb site, and in the instance where Device is playing mid with the AWP. But this time we've got Device on the B bomb site with the AWP instead, and KGB watching over along with his. JW wants to challenge this. Will there be a flash? Or will he just go for it? Nothing much happening there just yet. As Fnatic play this quite slowly. There's still a minute left on the clock as they've got most of the map control that they would need. But they don't yet know how the setup is for TQM. They don't yet know that it's a 1-4. This is one of those amazing kinds of plays that TQM start to do when they get a lot of economy, as they start to force a situation where you're going to be moving into a stack.
So JW is already outside of that smoke. He can take someone by surprise potentially here. Karrigan, is he going to have the right angle? He's in the pit and JW seems to be looking for him. Dennis coming up short. KJB to take him down. Is JW going to be able to push in time? The bomb's being planted for short. 2 CTs coming up the ramp. There's 4 on long now in total, as Dan pointed out. So Kennedy's holding against all these guns. Flusher and Crims with 2 fast frags. Olofmeister bringing in a third. 4 versus 2 now, and the stack has not worked out for the CTs. JW just standing in the middle of the smoke, causing massive problems here for these CTs. Finally gets taken down, and now they are stuck between a rock and a hard place as Olofmeister's coming in from the flank from T-spawn, and they are stuck in the long area with no way of winning this round.
So it worked out as it was kind of supposed to for TQM there. It's kind of like forcing the play into the A site, but you know, as you mentioned, the stack didn't really work out. It's like, you know, we're just hitting their shots out of the gate, which is fantastic for them, and a little bit discouraging for TQM. You should have had at least a lot more frags in that situation. Should have been a bit closer than it was. But we'll have to see how they decide to handle this one now. Fnatic know that it's going to be a little while till they can force the eco out. I believe we can just double check the economy as soon as the floaty cam is going to disappear. In fact, yeah, actually, one more. This is the last buy left for TQM. They need to win this one to keep their buys alive in the near future. And here comes a fast play from Fnatic. We saw this a lot earlier from them, and they're very effective at this fast B play. In comes Device there, out looking for the frag. JW already taking down Dupree, and that is it. 1 frag is not going to be good enough, and they're going to probably save now with the rest of their 3 players. Because what else can they do?
Yeah, they are miles away from this bomb site. I'm curious as to how much money is on the CT side. There we go. Not much at all, so saving 3 weapons will be important, and they'll probably, with Device on 3,000 already, it's very likely that they will buy around those in the next round. And somebody may be missing a gun, going pistol, but we'll have to see. There's a reasonable amount of nades on these 3 TQM players as well, so we'll see if they can get back to winning ways very shortly. Again, Fnatic had a good time against Titan. I think Titan only got 4 rounds against, I think it was a 16-4 on their Dust 2, if I remember correctly.
It's something in that region.
There we go. Double AWPs. They have a gun for everyone. I'm not sure if there's one on the floor, but I think there might not be. So Device and Cage and B. Karrigan's got the long spawn, but he's going to be going with a 5-7, interestingly. There's no early aggression, though, from Fnatic towards the long area. Rather, they're looking towards B. I'm not sure if there's a smoke on there, but Flush is definitely dancing around the B area, perhaps looking for a fast push from TQM, but there isn't going to be one. So 3 AWPs on the map. JW waiting for what could be an eventual peak to come in. Taking pot shots now. Sees the shoulder, unable to make a connection. Device, it's worth noting, doesn't have any armor in this round with that AWP. Yeah,
Dupree's out there to support him, so if they felt that Device would be an easy frag, Dupree is there to be the support and the surprise for that engagement. But short is taken over by Fnatic now, and again, they're probably starting to put the pieces together of how the setup is going to be looking for TQM, but it's still not quite clear as they have players towards B, A, and middle and short. So they've got pretty much the maximal amount of map control you can have before you're running into the enemy territory. And JW is going to be able to pick up the bomb now. Problem for him, though, is that Karrigan is really close with this 5-7. And they didn't have anybody watching those doors for a long time, and Karrigan's creeping out of the doors. This could be a huge play right now. Karrigan's coming in with the flank. He might just catch the information or an easy frag. This is a very big deal as he keeps moving forward, and Flush is going to get caught in the side. Karrigan gets a quick kill onto Flusher. That's going to be an AK for him if he wants it. And also, it's going to be they should know that it's a B play now. Karrigan's seen everything pretty much.
Oh no.
I think it's a little bit too slow there, didn't have enough vision, and it's going to be down to Device. 2 frags for Device, peeks up, looks for the second. Can he get it? He's expecting JW to peek, but looks away just at the wrong moments. Now it's going to be a 2 versus 3 in favor of the, well, TQM, because the bomb needs to go down, actually. Will it go down in time?
Just about.
Just about. 3 versus 2. Will they go for this, TQM? Looks like they're setting up for it. Now, absolutely, they will do it. Cajun B with that fragment to JW should seal the deal, unless Olofmeister goes huge.
Yeah, he needs to be the aggressor now. He can't let the CTs set up so they can trade for him. Looking for him, and he's not going to get any frags. Facing 2 at the same time, unfortunately, for Olofmeister. It's going to be too much to ask. Question mark goes 6-3 now. Back to winning ways. 3 players surviving, which is a plus for their economy. Going to get that second dot back as well. So... very fancy flying cams. Just waiting to see the buy on both teams. There we go. So we've got 3 AWPs on the map. Fnatic have a good buy. Only JW lacking the nades, just getting them late there, as you can see. So all good in the hood for both teams. Device getting shot through the door in the leg, it seems. So he will be surviving with 51 HP. Trying to hold an angle towards short. I'm not sure if he can see anything through there. Doesn't seem so. Flashed as well. And Fnatic will take the short area. Question mark holding aggressively towards long to try and avoid any splits. Zipex will hear lots of footsteps on the short area. May make the call to his teammates. KGB has an AWP, so he can hold the angle from the car position, which he's setting up for.
So Dennis is the forward man and flusher towards the catwalk position. Now, looks like they might... There's 2 options they can go for here. They don't really want it long. They can try to pressure into stairs, leave a player there, and then go for a quick catch drop for the B split. That's quite a possibility here, and I'm thinking they might do that because they got a player in upper dark right now. He can be used as a lurker if they go for an A play, but without this split onto long, I think it's more likely we'll see the cat drop. But we'll have to see what they'll go for. Looks like they're just going to go for the A hit, and KGB will make the first shot. Zipex is there on the bomb sites behind the crates. They're going to get flashed. How do they not get sprayed down there? And the trade comes in thanks to the grenade of Flusher. Bomb will be planted. There's actually a huge chance here now for Fnatic to win this one, especially now JW is picking up yet more frags with that sniper rifle of his, and he's now going to move forwards down onto the slope. Oh, what a shot there, straight onto Dupree. This guy is so fast, so quick, so deadly.
So
Fnatic
so
with a great round out of nowhere, to be honest, because TQM, they had a great setup.
Yeah, and that's crushed the money situation for TQM. Might have a few players with a bit to spend. Carrigan, although I think their loss bonus is reset, so he may not want to spend too much, so he can buy an AWP as soon as possible. 6-3, TQM still in the lead at present. Nobody running away with the match just yet. JW hitting all the shots at the moment. Another player's passed to his right and may try to close the distance and go for a bit of a barrel jump. Won't be needed. Carrigan will charge and steal the AWP. We'll see if he can save it. What is the reaction here from Fnatic at the same time? They only, TQM only have 1 player over towards the bomb site, which you can see is Dupree. His teammates have been smoked off in CT, but Olofmeister is going to get shot in the face. And there goes Flusher as well. So Dupree's done great damage, allowed his teammate to come in, but Crims has taken down 2. Dennis with a 3rd, very quickly leaving Cajun B alone as Carrigan is dispatched of. Dennis in the right position to finish off the round. Much damage done to the Fnatic side, but they have taken a round, and that's what counts when all is said and done.
Dupree's pretty notorious for the deagle in that position, actually. Often getting quite a few frags with it. So 6-4, and it looks like Fnatic has started to really explode. 2 AWPs on their side, Dennis and JW. JW's really been going a bit ham in recent rounds. Dennis with a very fast spawn. He's great at these peak shots, and just barely mistiming it there after getting flashed. So good play by TQM to get a player close behind the smoke. It's Carrigan with Famas there. Other than that, oh, you are joking.
In the face, baby.
That is heinous. Now, that's a really big frag, actually. 5 versus 4, already a weapon advantage. Not many nades on TQM. They're in trouble.
Again, TQM having lost long are holding very aggressively towards short. Flusher now is his turn to get a bit of a tag from an AWP. Going to be down to 54 HP. JW still holding the angle. And with Olofmeister moving towards the Xbox, It appears that Long is going to be taken by the Fnatic side. Indeed, it is. A minute on the clock here, so what can TQM do about this? 2 towards B, 2 towards A. Starting to move away from short is Cajun B, who's going to have a look towards long. But if these Fnatic players hug the wall, then there may be little he can do. The nade's going in that might give away the game, and that's going to stop D player and CT Spawn from doing anything. KGB's takedown flusher instantly traded by Dennis, however, leaving only one player on short. That Zipex, the split is stopped by him. But the plant is coming in for the platform, and there's already an AWPer on the platform. JW is now going to be moving to a different position in long, so this hold should be strong from Fnatic. Zipex and Device, all that remains here. Can they get across the angle? Then it's going to be flashed off and taken down as well, choosing to go for a timing shot rather than escaping. Crims has not got much life left, down to 14. JW saving him for the moment, and I think JW is playing close now to take down Zipex by surprise, who's probably expecting Crims to be the man he'd be engaging. So very nice play by Fnatic.
I love how TQM were able to actually take down Dennis, who was on the crossover with the AWP. That's, you know, a spot where you normally are thinking, okay, that's how do you defeat that? But they had the perfect pinpoint timing on that push. You can see they both turned their backs, trusting that their flash would be spot on, and that's the level of detail that there is in the TQM team. And as we see Crims loading up on Snooze again, we have the next round about to start, and Fnatic have really come alive. They've really come alive, thanks to players such as Dennis and JW in particular. He seemed to be really on point, JW. How long can he keep it going, though? TQM finally being, well, broke on the money. It's been a while, but they are finally there.
I'm assuming that one of these teams has paused. We'll see what happens when we get back into the game. We don't have a game PC at the moment, so we can't report exactly what's going on within the game itself.
JW's got like a different color headset to everybody else.
That's great. Back into the match.
All right, okay. No need to fill there then. Okay. So yeah, you can see full eco for TQM.
Ooh, dink.
And the standard anti-eco that we saw many times earlier from Fnatic onto the B side.
Olofmeister had his bell rung, but will there be any kills for the team? Flusher's going to be the one to go down first. Only 2 CTs remaining. Stuck on the wrong side of the choke points. Nades coming in. No armor for these 2 players. Boom! Zipex has been sent into another dimension by that HE. Cajun B now with all of 33 HP, and the USPS is dead. And Fnatic move on, only losing 1 player this time. Olofmeister getting 2 kills with the Mac 10. Going to be good for the coffers, as we call it in the UK. Not sure what they call that in Belarus.
Oh my, couldn't tell you. Belarusian's not yet that's proficient. Get a cat boost coming in from TQM for a quick timing, or perhaps a quick boost, but Dennis's timing is even faster. Look at this, it is absolutely savage. Just running straight down Suicide, straight into short, fastest possible timing. Dennis is not stopping. He will mow down Carrigan, finding his head with that spray, and now it's going to be Fnatic with the A-bomb site, and that's kind of pretty much over right now, this round.
Yanko was saying something about fast, short pushes, and there is another example of one. Dennis just running the lawnmower, trimming the CT players towards the A site. Dupree trying to hold on for dear life at the moment, but he has players coming in from the front and the rear. And there we go, taken down from the rear, leaving Device alone to be hunted by a maniac, or 3. 6-6, soon to be 7-6. There it is, Fnatic taking the lead. I think it was 6-3 for TQM. So Fnatic have won 4 rounds in a row now. And there you go, Dennis just charging as Dennis does. Hyper-aggressive player. My other nickname is DennisFan1. Double AWPs onto the Fnatic side in the second last round of the first half. Not going to make a connection through the double doors just yet. JW still rolling with a Mac 10 while Olof and Flusher go for the AWPing. So many AWPers on both these teams, in fact.
Yeah, this is a really hard situation for TQM, but they're the team to do it. Actually, what we're seeing right now from them is actually quite standard. Typically, when teams go for information, when they spot that there is Nobody in CT spawn. What they assume is the case is that there'll be 2 on the B side, but in reality is that there's actually 3, but it's just hidden. So it's kind of this. The idea is to kind of bait Fnatic to go into a B play, whereas some teams would actually try to find information and attack and go aggressive to even the advantage. TQM in this round used deception to try to encourage a team to go and hit B. But Fnatic, I don't think, are going to be falling for this, and they're going to know their opponent well enough to try to avoid this stack situation that TQM have actually gone for on with the B bomb site with those 3 players there. Now, let's have a look and see how this develops as we get the push coming in too short. And they are actually just going to commit, yeah, with the bomb as well. So, looks like they got the perfect counterplay. They've read this well, have Fnatic.
Karrigan spotting players on the A site will mark the rotation of the B players. Bombs go down, and that will speed everything up. JW still with the map1, having smoked off CT spawn, is going to be looking to have some fun. And it looks like the round has been abandoned. TQM putting themselves in a situation where they basically made a gamble it was going to be B. It wasn't B, so they are going to just try and keep everything they have for the next round. I'll be surprised if they all survive, considering Fnatic have to exit the bomb site, but they are in short going towards mid, so it might be a 10-man. We might have 10 people alive at the end of this round. That would be impressive.
Yeah, and this style of play is something that TQM have often tried to go towards, and it can be very, very devastating to some teams who aren't used to dealing with it because they look for the usual telltale signs, and TQM uniquely run deception on you in that instance when they're at a disadvantage, as we see. And they do it sometimes even when they have full weapons as well. I think I remember making a video on this quite some time ago, but either way, it's a 6-8 scoreline, and as you mentioned, big comeback from Fnatic, and the full save of TQM leaves them without, well, they just don't have an AWP to play with. What do they do? How do they even the field at the moment? With the push coming in onto long, just one player, olofmeister going through all the nades, he's going to get eliminated. So 5 versus 4 for TQM, not too bad.
I don't know that I've ever seen 10 people alive at the end of a round where the bomb was detonated before.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, indeed, it is a man advantage for TQM. Karrigan getting a bit greedy though, going to get no scope by JW, traded by Cage and B. So 3 Fnatic players to the 4 CTs, and you can see Devices playing the blind spot there. Even if you're top of short, you can't see that spot. He's not going to get a 2-man spray down. More trades coming in. Still a man advantage for TQM, but now they're getting stretched over 2 sites. If these 2 Fnatic players can combine, maybe something nice can be done, though. Dennis is going to get naded into oblivion, leaving Flusher alone with the bomb. Dupree with all of 10 HP, trying to waste as much time as possible. The rotation is coming in as he repeatedly peeks Flusher. He'll have a teammate coming in, Zipex, for distraction, but Dupree will get the final kill. 8-7 in favor of Fnatic.
So they really turned the heat up there, and it's hard to say exactly how this next half is going to go. But I'm feeling Fnatic now, a little bit of momentum with it. If they get a good start on the CT side as well, and JW is actually connecting as he has been with the AWP, it's going to be pretty hard for TQM. As I would say that their CT side is more prolific than their T side. They weren't able to have enough success there, I think. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up going in the end. And you can see that the pistol has begun for the second half, and TQM are going to be moving towards the upper dark area to begin with. Straight into B, it would seem.
That smoke going down is going to allow Crims to take pot shots with no response. Lots of plays being tagged in for TQM. Device going to have a flank onto JW. Down goes Crims as well. Dennis and Olaf are all that are left for the Fnatic side. Everybody alive for TQM at present, so this retake's going to be nigh on impossible. olofmeister and Device dancing. He's got support from another player, has Device. olofmeister goes down, leaving Dennis alone versus 5. This would be an epic ace. There's the first shot. He's got 4 more to find. There's another one. Karrigan didn't have much help. 3 headshots for Dennis. Starting to get a bit crazy there. He is a very dangerous man, but 5 was too much to ask on this occasion through the doors.
So it's TQM to get this, again, a pistol victory. They won the first round pistol as well. They've won the second half, so the first half pistol and the second half pistol now. So that's a nice advantage for them. It's going to feel a little bit annoying for Fnatic to be in that kind of a position, but they have been doing quite well on their force buys recently. So perhaps they can get something done here. It's one of the hardest maps to do the force buy on, but JW is just going to move in straight from short. And when he catches somebody, they've been looking for it though. They're playing quite passively, so JW can't get anything out of it, but he will get away with his life. That's actually quite nice for JW to accomplish that. And you can see that dupreeh is very wary that the push can come in, and he doesn't get the kill, and he does get tagged as well. So just the early damage exchanges are actually going the way of the Fnatic side so far, but they don't really have the weaponry, unfortunately, I think, to capitalize.
Dennis and JW tagged, Kerrigan, Zipex, dupreeh, and Device all tagged. And with 3 CZs on the Fnatic side, I do worry for the Danish team in this particular round. You know, they have all the weaponry. They should be in a good position to win, but they are in a position to get absolutely wrecked if they're not careful. All the question mark players in the mid area at the moment, just looking to get some engagements. Smoking off towards CT, but there's a player close to the door, and if they don't get a pop flash in and choose to push, they'll be in trouble. Flusher almost getting 2 frags there, trying to pop the headshot. Just a bit of shoulder peeking there. 3 players coming, eventually taking him down. Fast flank coming in from JW, and this could savage the entire round here. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Dennis taking the first one. Fnatic take the round.
And, you know, this is one of the, you know, reinforces that point that you, in these force buy rounds, you want to take them quickly so you don't get situations like this where you allow the pistoling players to get tags here and there or isolate one of your players, you know, stuff like this. Generally speaking, it's, you know, the longer you're in a round, the more options they're going to have to try to mess with you. And that's exactly what we saw there. TQM able to make a massive, well, essentially blunder by with this incredibly slow pace getting picked apart. Now it's Fnatic. With all the guns, they've completely switched the situation on its head, and if they win this one, TQM are kind of screwed for the next couple rounds. So I have to see if Fnatic can keep their players alive, because that's a huge objective for them, is to keep all 5 alive.
You saw Zipex go for a bit of a shoulder peek there towards the long area to try and get some information, and the information he found was that there was a scout in that position, and you saw him quietly move away, looking to reveal his position. dupreeh going for the pot shot. We saw him do it towards B. I've got to make a connection on this occasion. Still a minute on the clock for TQM to do something here. JW playing around the corner, trying to go for a spray, getting a bit of a tag here, but he's still got some more bullets in the magazine, getting 1 kill. He's got someone who's gone past him now. Krim's watching his back though. JW goes down, but can Krim's hold? Going to the Deagle, worried about running out of bullets. Olofmeister coming in for the save. Krim's in a headshot and another shot onto dupreeh. Very nice hold from Fnatic, only losing JW. Again, Fnatic have been playing a good support game so far. Need a bit of a replay now of Dennis, almost going for the 1 versus 5.
Yeah, it's looking good for Fnatic again. JW is onto the AWP, which is great for Fnatic. He's been hitting a lot of shots with that thing at the moment. And we'll have 2 players in B from Fnatic as well, so they can have potential to actually push up a dark with one of those players, because they are actually potentially thinking that TQM are just going to go for the B rush, and they're putting a lot of confidence in their teammates that they can defend short and long effectively with their rifles against the pistols on those ranges. So I think the confidence is not misplaced, but it might result in a bomb plant for TQM.
Olofmeister moves away from Carl just at the wrong time, so the bomb plant is going to come in for free. That nade is going to be meaty though onto Kerrigan, doing more than 80 damage. Olofmeister with a 3-man kill following that nade, and there's still no answer from TQM yet. Only dupreeh remaining, so the bomb's going to get defused. They've got at least the bomb plant bonus, $800 per person. It's going to be nice. Fnatic though extending their lead now. We'll see if TQM can get back into the game. Going to have on average 5k, which will be fine for the T side, save for the fact that they won't be able to afford an AWP and armor. So you're seeing Olofmeister get a number of kills in a row here. Very nicely done. That will be a big help in getting Fnatic to that 11th round. So, going to be pushing long are the T side. Flash is coming in, but Device will be the one to take down Dennis. And the rest of the Fnatic players who were over towards long will retreat. No answer towards short yet from Fnatic. Just going to bide their time for the time being. 4 of the 5 players for TQM are in long at the moment.
Yeah, that's the problem really. They can't. The thing is you want to have pressure from short at the similar timing as you destabilize the long defense. Because then what happens is you get this crazy distraction if you which way do I look to these players. And you can split that defense, and it's very effective. But question mark, Team Question Mark, they realized that they didn't have that situation. They didn't overextend, which is good. And now they're rotating players into short after leaving one in long. This is a nice development here from TQM. Now it's time to capitalize. They move in for the engagements, trying to look and find those headshots. But so far, they're not going their way. But there you go. Finally, Zipex gets himself an answer. But back and forth here, we get a 3 versus 3 as an AK is picked up in middle by Crims. Now, the bomb will go down here for TQM, but it's not going to be any easy task to hold this bomb site.
Look at this flank from Device in mid. Oh, Crims just gets around the corner in time. He could have shut out the round. He's still got an opportunity to do it because basically 2 of the 3 Fnatic players are sandwiched in this position, and that smoke gives Device time to get both these frags. But is he going to get one? One spray down. We've got a flying flusher, but he's not going to be able to answer. And then JW gets finished off by the 3rd player. So question mark back to winning ways.
Yeah, good flank there from Device. You can see he was a little bit, tiny bit frustrated there. He's a bit delirious apparently. He's giggling over there at the ends of the desk, but he did make it happen in the end with the spray. And TQM pulling out of rounds. Both teams are quite low on money though, so we've entered a situation where TQM need to stabilize. We're getting into the last rounds of this half, and we'll have the aggression onto long go the way of Fnatic, not losing anybody, and Device is down to 7 HP. That's a really big loss for TQM. Now, how do they salvage this kind of position? How do they get the advantage back? Looks like they're going to go for a fast B split, actually. Just going for it, and JW's there to answer. He's got the AWP on that angle. The bomb's down in front of JW as well. He's made the call to his teammates. This is a huge, huge round for Fnatic to win, and they've got a strong advantage.
TQM managed to pick up the bomb and bring it back to relatively safe haven. And Dupree's made his way into B, but Crims, maybe he thought it was empty looking through the doors. Crims, surprise, in the sight, shooting him in the back of the head, following up in the chest, and down he goes. 2 versus 4 now, and Device only has 7 HP with the bomb on Carrigan. So it's going to be hard, but not impossible for TQM to get back into this. They can't really save at the moment because there's still a minute on the clock, and we're starting to get a flank from Olofmeister towards long. He is in an advanced position, while the TQM players move towards short. So they have a bit of an opening here to try and get a plant on short itself, or towards short rather. We'll see if they go for it. They don't know if the site is clear. They don't know if somebody is watching them from long with an AWP, for example. So you can see they're going to have to go for a very slow approach. That slow approach may give the CTs time to identify the clear swathes of the map. Indeed, the plant goes down. They've got a player in CT, so that's the call. That's the rotation here for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's going to be quite tough to hold this. We've got Flusher creeping on low. Okay, that's going to be an easy situation now. Device has no HP. Here comes Flusher, finds the pixel, and the defuse comes in. 4 players left alive for Fnatic. Again, massive round to win, and we'll see a quick replay of Device taking down 2 players with the spray. I think he felt that it could have been a little bit cleaner, as this last frag was a little bit strained. He almost died, actually. But, you know, we're going to see the money situation in a moment, and it's going to be pretty brutal for TQM, as they just, you know, recently had won a round, and Fnatic just survived with a lot of players. As you can see, this is probably the last buy for TQM until they have to save one. That would put Fnatic onto 14 in this first map, and they are rolling with the double AWP, Olof and Dennis on those AWPs.
TQM with their initial map control, just trying to identify what kind of setup Fnatic have. And you will see lack of engagement from the short angle from the CT. So the question is, where is the 3rd CT playing, assuming 2 per site? We have time to identify that. Device taking down Olofmeister, trying to hold an aggressive position. So a minute 10 on the clock. That's going to be a weakened A bomb site. You can see Flusher on the slope there, putting a smoke down, trying to make things as awkward as possible for the T's in that area. And indeed, it's Device and Flusher which are going to be dancing with a burst fire. Device is going to win, though, with most of his health intact. Charging towards the site now. We see Dennis moving around the corner of Long. Doesn't want to get into a firefight just at the moment. 2 players needing to rotate for Fnatic. 3 versus 5. They're likely to try and save in this situation. But look at the map control that TQM have. They pretty much have all the Fnatic players choked right now.
Yeah, this is a very, very poor situation for Fnatic. And hopefully in a moment we can get a look at the money situation, just to keep tabs on how things are actually going into the last rounds. Maybe. I mean, this would be a good time to check it out. Looks like JW will be able to take down Dupree. They probably don't invest too much in attacking these remaining 3 players, and it's going to be really huge for Fnatic, as I do imagine that they're in a spot right now where, you know, if they're going for that, they can't be on a lot of cash.
We may never know how much money they have, Dan.
We may never
know.
Oh dear.
Because we must have floaty cam at all times.
Maybe we can get a...
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, so
but we still can't see the buy.
Yeah, you can see that the money is really flimsy for both sides there.
There we go. Now we can see that they've actually gone for a buy.
Yeah.
So 2 AWPs on deck. Lots of AKs onto both teams, actually. 2 AKs for Fnatic. I know Flusher's a big fan of the AKs, even on the CT side. But he's rocking the M4 for now. So I guess the order, the list of demands for AKs, he might not be the king of on the Fnatic side. So we've got 3 on the A site or long for the Fnatic team, and they've pretty much abandoned mid for the time being. JW holding a very nice angle onto Carrigan, who has now left the building. Yeah, but not literally.
That's a pretty good shot there, and it looks like TQM are very committed to this B split. They're going to be making their way in right now as JW is there with the AWP, but players are approaching his back, but Crims has got him covered. This great support there from Crims, holding down the flank as JW goes in to deal with the front of the bomb site, and wow, very great reaction from Fnatic, and TQM are going to go for a tactical pause. They're really feeling the pressure at this point in time. So I have to see whether or not they can come up with something. If we look at their money right now, of course, they can't really afford to buy. With 3 players, they could have an okay buy, but are they going to want to do that? It's more likely they're going to want to it's essentially assure a situation where everyone can buy and put Fnatic on 14 rounds. But as you can see, they just had one round as well. So that means they're going to get $1,900 from this situation. Their second round loss bonus, which will give them a decent amount of cash to buy with, but they have to decide what to do with it. And I don't know that there's been any clear solutions against Fnatic.
Do you think they're willing to do 3 AKs, Galil, no helmet?
It depends. I mean, it really depends on whether they just think that they need an AWP to win.
Dupree could rock the Deagle. I like to have a little
like tactical,
using some courtesy.
The strat book.
Yeah, I respect that.
The strat book comes out.
Nobody likes to, you know, drink on camera, or if you're Japanese, blow your nose in public.
Indeed, it's. I can see Carrigan, the in-game leader, there, talking with his team, barking out the orders,
discussing how long it will take them to receive their dinner in the hotel.
Oh
what
yeah,
do you think,
most
guys?
likely,
2 hours, 1 hour, hour and a half, a day. Go for the omelette, chaps. Mine was half an hour. Let's go. Okay, so we are going to see soon if there is a buy. We are definitely into the game. There we go. So they have indeed gone for it. They managed to get 4 AKs, actually. There we go. Yeah, Dupree hasn't bought any armor. I thought perhaps they would put Dupree on a Deagle, for example, and throw a Galil to someone. But they've gone for the big guns with no armor instead. Carrigan going to be the sacrificial lamb, so to speak, on the Tech 9. So question mark, wanting some nades. They've got quite a few flashbangs here and 2 smokes. Could there be a wall of smoke coming in on the A site? They're all there apart from one. There's one smoke's been deployed, which could be suggesting a fake. Not sure exactly where it went. But there we go. The second one's going to be on to CT spawn, so they can jump down if they want to. JW shooting into a barrel of fish. They're going to get the first frag. Olofmeister getting another one. JW coming in with a flashbang to try and slow down the push. And indeed, no one's made it anywhere near the site for question mark. They've been wiped off the map. Only Olofmeister going down, and Fnatic won't care about that. What a solid hold from Fnatic.
Yeah, that should be game, basically. You look at, oh, not game, sorry, but the map, as it is map 1. As you can see, TQM, they don't have any money. They're just going to have to force buy it and hope for the best. Usually, a team will go, I mean, one of the stronger plays is to go for the shorts play. You can do a wall of smoke on the A bomb site and go for a short play. But it looks like they're all moving towards B, so there's the other option. And how successful is it going to be? We've got Crim's pretty fast here. He's actually got the nade out. He's going to crouch in time. JW coming in from the back there with the AWP in hand. Crim's still alive. How is Crim still alive? By the car position. Crim's is still alive. 3 frags later. The guy is still vertical and breathing. And JW as well is still alive because they were so focused on Crim's by that car position. No idea how he managed to live through all of that.
He was super lucky not to go down to the first player there. If he goes down, if he doesn't go down to the first player there, then the hold is solid, and the hold was solid. Looks like Fnatic should take the first game here. As you can see, what question mark have in the kitty, and it's not much. Kitty's almost dead. There's a push from Fnatic on short as well with 2 players. JW is just hitting everything. Now we've got the 2 question mark players in lower tunnel. JW doesn't seem quite done yet, just standing in the smoke at the moment with Flusher covering his high.
He'll actually be able to escape there, which is pretty cool for JW. At least he's going to be able to get more shots off because of that into middle. And you can see they're quite close. They're really tempted to try to go for him in this position, considering the fact that he's so darn close to the doors. But it's not actually going to be the case just yet. As we will see right now, the flash finally coming in for the push, potentially, but they get warded away. And Carrigan is looking for the scout shenanigans by Catwalk with that jump action. It's a bit of an incendiary to push him forwards, actually. Olaf has spotted him, and he'll just pop his head there like a cherry. And now it's going to be Olofmeister just tapping him down. And a bit of spray to finish things off. And that will be the rounds. And the map, 16-10, Fnatic. Definitely look like the better team, I think, through the majority of this one.
Yeah, and it's good to see Olofmeister coming back into the game. I thought he would have a better performance against TSM. Now he had the entire team had a relatively good